So last time we have seen this first expression for kinetic energy. Kinetic energy is given by 1 half I omega square. Now we have to see two more expression using the same figure. Some changes are required, of course. The second relation that we are going to see is the expression for torque acting on a rotating body. So same figure we are going to use. Consider a rigid body of any shape rotating about the axis passing to the point O. The axis is perpendicular to the plane of the figure. When the torque T is applied, T is equal to applied torque which produces uniform means constant angular acceleration alpha. So here I will replace this omega by alpha. So body is rotating in this direction, and therefore by right hand rule alpha will be directed vertically upward as shown in the figure. Now this is a rigid body. We can consider the term moment of inertia for rigid body only. So this is a rigid body made up of n particle m1, m2, m3, m4, mn situated at distance r1, r2, r3, r4, rn as shown in the figure. Now when the body rotates by applying the torque T, then we are exerting some force, because we know this equation. Torque is defined as moment of force. This is the definition of torque. So in vector form it is given by moment on r cross vector f. So if we consider the first particle, then when the torque T is applied, the force acting is the F1, and this F1 is in this direction. So I will replace this V1 by F1. So this angle is 90 degree, this is vector R1. So if T1 is a torque acting on mass m1 situated at distance r1 from axis of rotation O, then T1 is given by vector r1 moment r cross f1. So r1 is in this direction, this angle is 90 degree. So in magnitude, T1 is given by magnitude of the first vector into magnitude of the second vector into sine of theta, where theta is equal to 90 degree. Theta is equal to 90 degree, and therefore T1 is equal to R1 F1 by Newton's second law. This is equal to mass m1 multiplied by acceleration a1, where a1 is equal to tangential acceleration in the direction of v, and it is given by r1 alpha 1. Now we know the property of the rotating body. When the body rotates about the axis of rotation, all the particles not lying on the axis of rotation, they have same angular displacement, they have same angular velocity, they have same angular acceleration. Therefore alpha 1 is equal to alpha, but alpha 1 is equal to alpha, and therefore if we substitute here, the torque acting is given by R1 M1 R1 alpha, and therefore T1 is equal to M1 R1 square alpha. This is the main equation. So what is the meaning of equation 1? Equation 1 gives the torque acting on the first particle of mass M1 situated at distance R1 from the given axis of rotation passing to the point O, and the body is rotating with uniform angular acceleration alpha. So this is about the individual torque acting on the first particle when the total torque T is applied to the body. Now similarly, we can give the torque on the remaining particle like this. Second torque has magnitude. Mass of the second particle R2 square into alpha 2, but alpha 2 is equal to alpha. T3 is equal to M3 R3 square. This is alpha 2, but alpha 2 is equal to alpha like this. So this is equal to M2 R2 square alpha, because alpha 2 is equal to alpha. This is alpha 3, so that is equal to M3 R3 square alpha dot dot dot. Torque acting on the n particle is equal to mass of the n particle, radius of the n particle into alpha n, so that is equal to M3 Mn Rn square alpha. So all these equations are having the common number 2. So equation 1 gives the individual torque acting on the first particle of mass M1 situated at distance R1 and performing circular motion with angular acceleration alpha 1 is equal to alpha. For second particle, for third particle, for n particle like this. Now, in the last derivation of kinetic energy and this derivation of torque, there is a one difference. Kinetic energy was a scalar quantity, and therefore total kinetic energy of the rotating body E is given by E1 plus E2 plus E3, because they have no direction. Now in this case, T1, T2, T3 are vector quantity, they have direction, but all the particles are performing circular motion in anti-clockwise direction. Circular motion direction सर्वांचं सारखंच आहे by right hand rule. If we apply by right hand rule, then alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3, alpha n, all angular acceleration are in the same direction. Therefore T1, T2, T3, T4 are also in the same direction. So even though the torque T1, T2, T3, T4, Tn are vector, they have same direction. And आपल्याला vector addition करून माहिती, if all the vectors have same direction, then we can add their magnitude to find the total, to find the resultant. The magnitude of the resultant vector is given by sum of the magnitude of the individual vector. Same direction, addition. Opposite direction, subtraction. These are the simple rule for vector addition. So in this case, you can give this result directly. Since vector T1, vector T2, vector T3, vector Tn and total torque T. Total torque T have same direction, vertically upward, and therefore magnitude of value of magnitude of total torque T is given by T1 plus T2 plus T3 plus T4 plus Tn. This is equation 3. So using 1 and 2, using 1 and 2, T is equal to M1 R1 square alpha plus M2 R2 square alpha plus M3 R3 square alpha Mn Rn is equal to summation of m1 r1 square m2 r2 square m3 r3 square dot mn rn square into alpha. So this is say equation 4, and this bracket can be replaced by summation of mi ri square, I varies from one particle to n particle into uniform angular acceleration alpha, and this bracket we have replaced last time by I. So T is equal to I into alpha. T is equal to I into alpha. So this is equation 5, this is equation 6, where I is equal to moment of inertia of the body, rotating body. So this kg into meter square, kg means mass, meter square, both are scalar quantity. So since T and alpha have same direction vertically upward by right hand rule, therefore in vector form T is equal to I multiplied by alpha. So this is equation 7. This equation gives the vector form for the relation of, and this is gives the scalar form. Its magnitude only, this is which direction. So moment of inertia is a scalar quantity. It is simply a multiplier number, and therefore the direction of alpha and direction of T are same by right hand rule. If the particle is performing circular motion or rotational motion in anti-clockwise direction, then torque and alpha both are in the same direction, vertical upward direction. Therefore in vector form we can give the relation like this. So this is the relation between the torque and alpha. हा सेपरेट क्वेश्चन पण मिळाला होता आपल्याला, शोध हा क्वेश्चन वेगळ्या फॉर्ममध्ये दिलेला आहे. शो दॅट द टॉर्क इज इक्वल आय इंटू अल्फा वेअर द सिम्बल्स हॅव युजुअल मीनिंग. So same figure we have to use. Now I will change the figure like this. F1, this is the force F2, this is the force F3, Fn, this is the F3. So this R2 and R3 and F3, they are in the perpendicular direction. So theta is equal to 90 degree for every case, 90 degree, 90 degree, 90 degree, 90 degree. So in every equation, this theta is equal to 90 degree, therefore sin of theta will become 1. So this is the equation for the torque acting on the body, which produces the uniform angular acceleration alpha. So we are using same type of figure for the next derivation also. So this is the definition of torque. Moment of force is called as a torque. So when we take the moment of any physical quantity, then we have to take the cross product of this moment, means cross product of position vector or moment arm vector with this next quantity like this. So this is about the expression for the torque acting on the rotating body like this. Now in the similar way, but to derive the expression for the angular momentum of a body. Now next we will see the derivation for the angular momentum. Actually this expression for angular momentum and expression for torque, they are given in article 1.81, and last derivation expression for torque it is given in our book in article number 1.9. हे दोघे आर्टिकल आपण अगोदर घेऊन टाकले, कारण त्याचा यूज आपल्याला मोमेंट ऑफ इनर्शियाचा ॲनालॉगस क्वांटिटी मास जी त्याच्या एक्सप्लेनेशनसाठी आपल्याला लागणार आहे. म्हणून हे दोन डेरिव्हेशन आपण आपल्या सिलेबसला आहे, पण ते नंतर दिलेले, ते आपण अगोदर घेतलेले आहे. सो नेक्स्ट वी आर गोइंग टू सी द डेरिव्हेशन फॉर एक्सप्रेशन फॉर angular momentum of a rotating body. So let us see the meaning of angular momentum. Angular momentum. It is denoted by L. It is also vector quantity. Definition. Definition of angular momentum. Actually, we have seen this quantity last year also. And angular momentum has one special feature. It is generally we consider for circular motion, rotational motion, but it is also applicable for linear motion. बॉडी लिनियर मोशनमध्ये असताना सुद्धा आपण त्याचा अँग्युलर मोमेंटम काढू शकतो. फक्त ॲक्सेस ऑफ रोटेशन जो त्याच्या लाईन ऑफ ॲक्शनच्या बाहेर पाहिजे. चालतं. सो इन दिस केस वी आर कन्सिडरिंग दिस रोटेशनल मोशन. सो डेफिनेशन ऑफ अँग्युलर मोमेंटम इज लाईक दिस. अँग्युलर मोमेंटम angular momentum is defined as the definition torque torque is defined as moment of force. In this case it is defined as angular momentum is defined as moment of linear momentum. Therefore, in vector form, when we take moment, now we know that it is the cross product with the moment arm vector. So for first particle R1 is a moment arm vector cross linear momentum. Linear momentum is denoted by P, and therefore in magnitude it is given by magnitude of the first vector, magnitude of the second vector into sine of theta, where P is a linear momentum and it is given by mass into velocity, and therefore L is equal to, you can also give like this, R into M into V into sine of theta, like this. So you can use this equation for magnitude. Theta is the angle, between moment arm vector R and linear momentum vector P or linear velocity vector V. लिनियर वेलोसिटी वेक्टर V. आता पुन्हा फिगर मध्ये आपल्याला चेंज करायचं आहे. सो V1 is in the direction, therefore P1 is also in the direction. This P2 is in the direction. This P3 is in the direction. This Pn is in the direction. So direction of P1 and vector R1, they are perpendicular, 90 degree, 90 degree, 90 degree, 90 degree. So L1 is equal to angular momentum of mass M1 situated at distance R1 from the given axis passing to the point O. So L1 is given by R1 P1 sin of theta 1, but theta 1 is equal to 90 degree. This angle is 90 degree, and therefore angular momentum L1 is R1 P1 is equal to R1 M1 V1, but V1 is equal to R1 omega 1. Therefore angular momentum L1 is equal to R1 M1 r1 omega 1. So this is equal to, but omega 1 is equal to omega 2 is equal to omega 3 is equal to omega n is equal to omega of the whole body. So this L1 is given by m1 r1 into r1 square into omega. So this is equation 1. म्हणजे पहिल्या पार्टिकलसाठी इक्वेशन डिटेलमध्ये प्रूव्ह करून दाखवायचं आणि बाकीच्या पार्टिकलची इक्वेशन मात्र डायरेक्टली यायची असतात. लक्षात डेरिव्हेशनची मेथड आता तुमच्याही लक्षात आली असेल. सो इक्वेशन 1 गिव्स the angular momentum of the first particle of mass m1 situated at distance r1 from the given axis of rotation and performing circular motion with the radius r1 with angular velocity omega 1 and omega 1 is equal to that of the whole body. So for all the particles not lying on the axis of rotation have same angular dissociation, have same angular velocity, have same angular acceleration, therefore omega 1 is equal to omega 2 is equal to omega is the angular velocity of the whole body. So again in the figure we will change here like this. So body is rotating with uniform angular velocity omega. So this is the equation for the angular momentum of the first particle. Similarly angular momentum of the second particle is given by m2 r2 square omega 2, but omega 2 is equal to omega, so m2 r2 square omega. L3 is given by m3 r3 square omega 3, but use this relation m3 r3 square omega ln is equal to mn rn square omega. So all these equations have common number 2. Again angular momentum is a vector quantity. So L1, L2, L3, L4, Ln, since all the particles are performing circular motion in same direction anticlockwise, this L1, L2, L3, L4, Ln, all the vectors are in the same direction. L has also same direction. So L1, L2, L3 and L have same direction. So L is also in this direction. Since vector L1 angular momentum of the first particle, vector L2 of the second particle, vector L3 vector Ln and vector L of whole body have same direction, therefore the magnitude of total angular momentum of a rotating body is L is equal to L1 plus L2 plus L3 plus Ln. So this is equation 3. So using 1 and 2, L is equal to m1 r1 square omega, m2 r2 square omega, m3 r3 square omega mn rn square omega, and therefore L is equal to, inside the bracket, m1 r1 square plus m2 r2 square plus m3 r3 square mn rn square omega. So this is equation 4. Therefore L is equal to, again we can use summation sign, mi ri square. I varies from first particle to n particle into omega. So this is equation 5 where L is equal to I omega, equation 6 where I is equal to mi of the whole body, mi of the whole body, and it is given by this quantity I is equal to summation of mi ri square, I vary from one particle to n particle. So this is the scalar form, only magnitude. Scalar form. Since vector L and vector omega are in same direction, therefore vector L is equal to I times vector omega. This is equation 7. This is a vector form. Again same reason, moment of inertia is a scalar quantity. The angular momentum चा unit आपल्याला माहिती. Angular momentum is given in various forms. For solving the problem, we may require the other form also. So this I is given by mr square. L is equal to I into omega. It is equal to mr square omega. It is equal to m into r into omega. This r into omega is equal to v. So this is equal to mvr, like this. So these are the various forms. I omega, if moment of inertia is given, then we can use this formula. If r and omega is given, where r is the radius of the body and m is the mass, so mr square omega, m is the total mass, m1 plus m2 plus m3 plus m4 plus mn will give the total mass. This r into omega is equal to v. It is the tangential or linear velocity of the particle on the circumference of the body, like this. So this r into omega is replaced by v. So these are the various forms of the angular momentum. We can use any one of this form. Actually हा फॉर्म केमिस्ट्रीमध्ये तुम्ही यूज पण केला असेल. In Bohr's theory, there is only one electron in hydrogen atom and it is revolving in circular orbit. So that angular momentum is given by mvr. Angular momentum of the electron revolving around the nucleus in hydrogen atom is given by mvr, where m is the mass of the electron, v is the velocity of the linear velocity of the electron, it is also the tangential velocity, and r is the radius of the circular orbit of the electron, like this. So we can use this formula for individual particle also, like this. So these three derivation, expression for kinetic energy, expression for torque and angular momentum, are exactly same. The method is same. Find the value for first particle only, then give the equation for remaining particles directly, and then add it. Magnitude of the total quantity, whether torque or angular momentum, is given by addition of the individual quantity. So even though they are vector quantities, they have same direction, therefore same direction, add their magnitude. We can use this rule, like this. So according to our book, the second part, rotational motion, has first article number 1.5, moment of inertia as an analog of mass. So same article is given in our note, but the title is given concept of moment of inertia. So concept of mi in rotational motion and concept of mass in translation motion are same. How? And for that purpose we have to use these three derivations that just now we have completed. So I will write down the equation on this side for translational motion. Translational motion, rotational motion. rotational motion. So the first quantity that we are going to consider is the kinetic energy. So in translational motion, the kinetic energy is given by 1/2 mv square. In rotational motion, just now we have proved the first relation that we have derived is 1/2 pi omega square. Second quantity, force is equal to mass into acceleration. Torque which produces the rotational motion is equal to I into alpha. Third, momentum. Momentum P is equal to mass multiplied by velocity. Momentum L is equal to I into omega, like this. So this is equation set capital A. So this is equation set capital B, like this. So now if you compare the set of equation A and B, then we can give the conclusion like this. Now in this equation, this V is a linear velocity, omega is the angular velocity. This is square of velocity, square of velocity. So this V and omega are analogous quantity. A and alpha are analogous quantity. Force and torque, they are analogous quantity. Force is a cause of translation motion, torque is a cause of rotation motion. This produces the translation motion, this produces the rotational motion. So they are similar quantity, they are analogous quantity, like this. So comparison of equation A and B gives that. Comparison of equation A and B gives that linear velocity V in translational motion or you can give the comparison like this. Angular velocity omega in rotational motion is analogous to linear velocity V in translational motion. Second one. Now I will write down in short. Angular acceleration alpha in rotational motion is analogous to linear acceleration A in translation motion. Third, torque T in rotational motion is analogous to force F in translational motion. Angular momentum L in rotational motion is analogous to linear momentum linear momentum P in this. So all these quantities are like this one. V corresponds to omega, A corresponds to alpha, F corresponds to T, like this one. Then P corresponds to L, like this. And therefore, what conclusion we can draw? Hence, moment of inertia I in rotational motion is analogous to mass m in translational motion. And therefore the title is given moment of inertia as the analog of mass. Therefore the concept of mi in rotational motion, this result is important. The concept of moment of inertia in rotational motion is analogous to concept of mass in translational motion. Now, what is the concept of mass? So, concept of mass in Newton's first law, we have given this concept of mass represent linear inertia that is, it is linear inertia is a tendency to remain, tendency of a body to continue its state of rest or state of uniform linear motion along straight line unless it is acted upon by unbalanced force. So we have cleared this concept in Newton's first law last year. जोपर्यंत आपण बाहेरून फोर्स अप्लाय करत नाही तोपर्यंत बॉडीच्या स्टेटमध्ये चेंज होणार नाही. म्हणजे बॉडी ॲट रेस्ट असेल तर ती रेस्टमध्येच राहील, ती मोशनमध्ये जाणार नाही. बॉडी मोशनमध्ये असेल तर ती रेस्टमध्ये येऊ शकणार नाही. रेस्टमध्ये आणायची असेल, स्पीड इन्क्रीज करायचं असेल, डिक्रीज करायचं असेल तर आपल्याला काहीतरी एक्सटर्नल अनबॅलन्स फोर्स अप्लाय करावी लागते. सो फोर्स इज नेसेसरी टू change the state of the body, and that required force depend upon the mass. So force is necessary to change the state of the body. In linear motion. And Force depends on mass. That is, larger the mass, of the body, more is its linear inertia. Larger is the force required. Larger is the force required because more is the, this is a very important sentence, more is the opposition by the body to the change of state. So this concept of force we already know. Whenever we are to change the state of the body, तर तो चेंज ऑफ स्टेट दोन प्रकारे आपण कन्सिडर केलेला आहे. बॉडीला अरेस्ट, स्टेट ऑफ रेस्टमधून स्टेट ऑफ मोशनमध्ये आणायचं असेल तर फोर्स अप्लाय करावा लागेल. चालेल सर. फॉर एक्झाम्पल, इफ दिस इज ए डस्टर हियर and now if we are to move it in this direction, then some force is required. So without force it cannot change the state. Now when it is in motion, for example, a bus is moving on a road and we are to stop it, so we are to apply the brake. If we are to accelerate it, we are to press the accelerator like this one. So change of state is possible by applying the force, but the value of the force depends upon the mass, depends upon the linear inertia. More the mass, more is the linear inertia, larger is the force required because more is the opposition. So in linear motion, mass represent opposition to the change of state. What is the conclusion? In linear motion, mass, that is linear inertia, represents the opposition by the body to change the state. अपन एग्जांपल काय काय दिले होते? डस्टर एंड टेबल. When we are to move the duster like this, it is a light body, so small force is required to bring the duster in motion. But if we are to shift the table, bench, mass is more force is required. So larger the mass, more is the opposition, more is the force required. आता इथे आपण बॉडीला स्टेट ऑफ रेस्टमधून स्टेट ऑफ मोशनमध्ये आणत होतो. त्याच्या पुढेच आपल्याला एक्झाम्पल देते. वन मोर एक्झाम्पल. क्रिकेट बॉल, and bus. Now when the batsman hit the cricket ball and were to stop it, were to catch it, so were to decrease the speed of the cricket ball, so some force is applied by our hand to stop the ball. Now suppose the bus is coming on a road towards us and were to stop the bus, it is not possible. A tremendous force is required. Cricket ball can be easily stopped by applying a smaller force. Bus cannot be stopped by this, only by applying the force by human man like this. Because mass of the bus is very larger as compared to cricket ball. So these are the two cases. Duster and table were to change their state from rest to motion. More force is required for table than this duster. When we are to stop the cricket ball, small force is required. When we are to stop the bus, tremendous force is required, like this. So same concept is used in rotational motion. I will repeat the same sentence. In a rotational motion, moment of inertia represent opposition to the body to the change of state. So to change the state, we require the torque. हे सर्वचे सर्व सेंटेन्स आपण रिपीट करू शकतो, फक्त चेंज करायला बघा. Mi represents rotational inertia. That is, rotational inertia or moment of inertia is the tendency of a body to continue the state of rest. Or state of uniform rotational motion. Unless it is acted upon by unbalanced torque. हे चेंजेस कुठे केले आपण? मासच्या ऐवजी मोमेंट ऑफ इनर्शिया घेतला. लिनियर इनर्शिया जे त्याला रोटेशनल इनर्शिया आपण म्हणतात. सो एमआय मोमेंट ऑफ इनर्शिया रिप्रेझेंट द रोटेशनल इनर्शिया. दॅट इज मोमेंट ऑफ इनर्शिया इज द टेंडन्सी ऑफ ए बॉडी टू कंटिन्यू इट्स स्टेट ऑफ रेस्ट और स्टेट ऑफ uniform rotational motion. Unless it is acted upon by unbalanced torque. So torque is necessary. To change the state of the body in rotational motion. ठराविक शब्द फक्त आपल्याला चेंज करायला लागणार आहे. and the torque depends on mi. आताच आपण फॉर्म्युला डिराइव केलेला आहे. टॉर्क T is equal to I into alpha. So larger the moment of inertia, more is the torque required. Torque depends upon the moment of inertia. Larger the mi, short form, mi of the body, more is the rotational inertia. Larger is the torque required because more is the opposition by the body to the change of state in rotational motion. In rotational motion, mi represent the opposition by the body to the change of state. Example. आजचेच आपल्याला example लेते येऊ शकते. Also, so the corresponding examples are like this one. Corresponding example A. Ceiling fan and exhaust fan. Plastic blade, metal blade, So ceiling fan has metal blade, so its moment of inertia is more than this exhaust fan. Exhaust fans are generally made by plastic material. So moment of inertia is less, moment of inertia is more. So when we switch on both the fan simultaneously, then ceiling fan will produce more operation. So it goes to the maximum angular speed, but it will take longer time. स्विच ऑन करण्याच्या अगोदर दोघांचा स्पीड 0-0, दोघे फायनल अँग्युलर स्पीडला जाणार आहे मॅक्झिमम स्पीडला. पण त्या मॅक्झिमम स्पीडला जाण्यासाठी इथे टाईम जादा लागेल किंवा करंट जादा लागेल किंवा टॉर्क जादा लागेल. कॉइलमधून जो आपण करंट पास करतो तो इथे कमी करंट पास करावं लागेल. दोघीकडे जर सारखा स्पीड पाहिजे असेल इथे कमी करंट पास करावं लागेल, म्हणजे टॉर्क कमी लागेल, इथे जादा टॉर्क लागेल. हॅलो सर. सो लाईक दिस. आता दोघे फॅन समजा फिरतात आहे, दोघांचे आपण सायमल्टेनियसली दोघे स्विच ऑफ केले तर हा पटकन स्टॉप होतो, कारण त्याचा मोमेंट आपण कमी, ऑपरेशन कमी, याला थांबायला वेळ लागतो. सिलिंग फॅनच्या वेळी आपण जर कूलरचे फॅन जर घेतले तर याला अजून जास्त वेळ लागेल. लाईक दिस. अर्थात हे आपण जेव्हा डिस्कशन करतो तेव्हा बाकीच्या फ्रिक्शनल फोर्सेस आपण निग्लेक्ट केलेल्या आहेत. हॅलो सर. सो दिस इज द meaning of rotational inertia. So the changes are like this. Mass represents linear inertia, moment of inertia represents rotational inertia. Linear inertia is the tendency of a body to continue the state of rest or state of uniform motion along the straight line unless it is acted upon by unbalanced force. So this moment of inertia is a tendency of a body to continue the state of rest or state of uniform rotational motion unless it is acted upon by torque. Torque is necessary to produce the change in the state of the body. Torque depends upon the MI. More is the moment of inertia, more is the torque required. Same example, ceiling fan has metal blade, larger moment of inertia, mass into square of distance. So metal body has more mass than this. Therefore, more mass, more moment of inertia, more torque is required. Smaller mass, smaller moment of inertia, smaller torque is required. Like this. So these are some examples. So what is the difference between mass and moment of inertia? This is the main difference. But mass, that is the linear inertia. Linear inertia remains same, constant, remains constant for a given body, for a given body. However, MI of a given body changes with position of axis of rotation. For rotational motion, we know that axis of rotation is compulsory, and if we change the position of the axis of rotation, then moment of inertia will change. So body is same, ceiling fan, but if we change the position of the axis of rotation, then moment of inertia will change, like this. So this is the main difference between the linear inertia and rotational inertia. Rotational inertia is a variable quantity. It depends upon 2 or 3 factors. That factors of dependence we will see separately. Just now I have given only one factor. If we change the position of the axis of rotation, then the moment of inertia body will change. Body is same, ceiling fan, only the position of the axis of rotation has been changed. In this case, mass remains same. Even though body is at rest or even in motion, its mass remains constant. In this case, this moment of inertia changes depending upon 2 or 3 factors, like this. So this is about the concept of moment of inertia. So moment of inertia as an analog of mass, it is explained by using this type of analogy. So mass in linear motion and moment of inertia in rotational motion are analogous quantity to each other. So remember this factor.